I'd like one of you, bureaucrats out there, to look me in the eye and tell me, when does my husband's life matter to you? Because it matters every day, every second of every day to me.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Hello and welcome and hello, my fellow vapors. My camera is not, I bumped my camera yesterday and I have to get it set back up right. I think that's a little better. So what the hell's going on? Kevin, the rascally rabbit, he doesn't have any internet. So until his internet comes back up, it's just me. But I see Victor Altec is here, and his lovely wife was on the intro tonight. I inadvertently played that one, and I didn't even know he was in the chat room. So hello, Michael and Tom and Victor and everybody else that's here. There's people that I haven't said hello yet, so I don't know what the hell's going on. So I actually am very, very unprepared since Kevy just messaged me and said that he doesn't have any internet. So we're winging it. And I actually have an appointment at 8:30 in the morning, so we may only wing it for an hour or so. You never know. You don't really know. But what's everybody doing tonight? I see Jerry said hello too. Hello, Jerry. I was kind of hoping that Skip would be here bright and early, but Skip didn't come bright and early. She may be hiding from us. That's not very nice. But we're just gonna muddle on through this. So I'm currently listening to an ad on YouTube. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play a video. This is very popular video in our circles right now. So let's listen to Steve Forbes. Steve Forbes has some really good things. Let me crank up the audio on this. There we go. So let's play Steve Forbes because he's a very smart man.
Non-stop anti-vaping war being waged by the FDA is based more on emotion than science. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. To hear most public health officials, led by the FDA, tell it, you'd think vaping was as deadly as smoking cigarettes. They've certainly misled the public with this lethal falsehood. 64% of Americans think using e-cigarettes is as bad or even worse than smoking tobacco cigarettes. The reality is the opposite. The only thing e-cigarettes have in common with regular cigarettes is inhaling nicotine. That substance is addictive, but not lethal. What makes tobacco cigarettes so deadly are all the other substances, most especially tar and carbon monoxide. E-cigarettes have no tar. Most users of e-cigarettes get the same kick as inhaling tobacco without such life-threatening dangers. Vaping is the most effective tool for giving up tobacco smoking, almost twice as effective as FDA-approved products such as nicotine patches, gum, and lozenges. It's why British health authorities see vaping as a critical tool in getting people to cease tobacco smoking. Other countries have come to the same conclusion. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine say, quote, substituting e-cigarettes for combustible tobacco cigarettes reduces users' exposure to numerous toxicants and carcinogens present in combustible tobacco cigarettes. Yet, despite the evidence that vaping is 95% safer than smoking, the FDA and others continue to wage war against e-cigarettes, thereby endangering the health, if not the lives, of millions of smokers who want to give up the habit. Their justification is the huge increase in vaping among teenagers. They say it's a gateway to regular cigarettes. What's their evidence? None. In fact, surveys by the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, undermine their scare tactics. Between 2011 and 2020, vaping among high schoolers went from 1.5% to almost 20%, but cigarette smoking dropped from 15.8% to 4.6%. The overall use of nicotine products went down. Remember, tobacco cigarettes are vastly more dangerous than vaping. Of course, one shouldn't inhale anything into the lungs except oxygen. But in the real world, people indulge in pleasures health nannies don't approve of. But there are real differences among those indulgences. For health authorities to equate vaping with inhaling cigarette smoke is blatantly false and counterproductive. Relentlessly trying to ban e-cigarette products will simply increase regular cigarette smoking. San Francisco in 2018 banned e-cigarettes. Tobacco smoking among teenagers and young adults increased. The FDA has suffered recent judicial setbacks in its malicious attempts to strangle the industry, but make no mistake, the relentless, ill-conceived, and often ill-informed attacks against vaping won't cease. The settlement of various states with Juul Labs over charges that had marketed to underage users will be used to attack vaping in general. Where's the science when lives depend upon it? I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.
We have to really double down on thanking Steve Forbes. This is like his fourth video in 2 years about vaping, and he has been nice enough to use his platform. I mean, obviously it would be nice if he opened the checkbook, but he's not doing that. But at least he is putting his bandwidth on this. So go to Twitter and retweet the shit out of that video, and give him as many likes as you can, because it's important. It's important. He has a way bigger bully pulpit than we do. So do it. I'm actually I'm trying to find it so that I can share it on screen for you people. So what the hell's everybody up to? Yep. Oh, where did it go? There it is. Well, there's one of them. Can we not find the official tweet? Let's find the official tweet. Wow. Y'all just been downloading stuff and sharing, not giving Steve the likes and stuff. Y'all need to actually do that. Find the Forbes article and share the hell out of that one. Come on, y'all. Everybody seems to just be sharing the link. So yeah, don't forget the like button. That's what I said. Go find this tweet and like it. So if you just do a Twitter search, I will show a screen. Let's do the share screen doohickey. Boom. So if you just do a Forbes vaping, you're going to see all of the top ones. So just pick one and retweet it. Charles is no, that's not Charles. That is Charles, but that's not the article. Scroll. But it's going to be this one right here. This is what the thumbnail looks like. FDA rule based more on emotion than science. That one. So share the hell out of that one. Michael Landau, we know him. I don't know Eva, but you could retweet Eva or the Kasa one. Retweet the hell out of that. So let's like and Retweet. No, I don't want to read the article. I've already read the article. There's Phil. Let's like and retweet Phil. He's a friendly rodent. We like him. E-Juice Monkeys. Sure. Let's like and retweet that one. IEVA. Yep. Let's do that one. Boom. Just do this. Like and retweet all of them. Michael Redfern. There you are in the chat room. You get a like and retweet as well. Like and retweet. Boop. Like and retweet. Oh, y'all just Cigar Babe. Here, I'll even like and retweet you. There's a bunch of Raj. Is Raj even in the chat room? What a slacker. He's hiding from us tonight. But anyway, I see Troop showed up and Omicidal. Yes, you were late, Omicidal. Yes, and Mallory, sadly, Kevin has no internet. No internet. He apparently didn't pay the bill. So it is just me. I'm positive that you guys probably are aware that the Jules settled for $300 million or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I could care less. I am literally, I literally do not care. So we're going to talk about other stuff. We're going to talk about something other than Jewel, because it doesn't really mean shit for us. They will actually probably use that against us, but whatever. But here, let's Kevin sent this link, and since he's not here, I guess I'm responsible to share it with you. Let's scroll this. Let's make it a little bigger. Here we go. Yes. So let's do this again. This is a funny story. This says, this is from VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University News. Can vaping cause you to fail a sobriety test? So they actually made an article about this. It's embarrassing, but while ethanol is often a hidden ingredient in e-liquids, a new study finds that vaping won't trigger a false positive sobriety test. But only if police employ a proper waiting period. What? So while ethanol is often a hidden ingredient in e-liquids, a new study finds vaping won't trigger a false positive sobriety test, but only if the police employ a proper waiting period. So they're saying that if you vape something that has some ethanol in it, that you're going to blow a false positive if they test you right afterwards. Let's see. 5 years ago, researchers led by Virginia Commonwealth University forensic science professor Michael Peace, PhD, revealed that e-liquids, the flavored nicotine solution used in e-cigarettes, commonly contain ethanol or alcohol as an unlisted ingredient. Not commonly. Some of the ingredients, some of the flavors might have a thinning ethanol or alcohol as a thinning or thinner, but not common. That hidden presence of ethanol in e-liquids raised an important question for public safety and law enforcement. Could unknowingly vaping alcohol cause a person who hadn't been drinking to fail a sobriety test? To answer that question, Peace and co-principal investigator Allison Breland, PhD, and associate research professor in the Department of Psychology at the College of Humanities and Science and the Center of Study in Tobacco Products at VCU, launched a human clinical study in collaboration with the Virginia Department of Forensic Science and VCU Police Department. The researchers had 13 participants vape e-liquids with either a concentration of 20% ethanol or 0% ethanol. What? If I, so if I am DIYing an e-liquid, the entire flavoring percentage would be about 20%. Now you're making an e-liquid that is 20% ethanol? Huh? So anyway, before and after vaping, Lieutenant Edgar Greer of ECU Police administered preliminary and evidentiary breath tests and a standardized field sobriety test, including a horizontal nystagmus or a horizontal gaze nystagmus test, which is something that I do all the time. Actually, yes, a nystagmus test is part of physical therapy. I do it to a lot of vestibular patients. Anyway, walking heel to toe in a straight line and standing on one foot. I know several people that probably couldn't stand on one foot, stone ass sober. But anyway, that replicates law enforcement officers' roadside procedures in suspected DUI cases. They found that breath ethanol concentrations were detectable by the preliminary breath test immediately, less than 1 minute after vaping an e-liquid containing 20% ethanol. However, when the police officer waited 15 to 20 minutes, the standard waiting period in a DUI road stop case, after the person vaped an e-liquid with 20% ethanol, the preliminary breath test had no result as they predicted. The researchers also found that vaping ethanol did not impact the standardized field sobriety test, and the evidentiary breath test was not affected by vaping ethanol at all. Wow. I'm not reading this, Kevin. I don't know why you sent this to me. Only a moron. I am by no means an expert on all e-liquid on the market, but I gotta find somebody that makes e-liquid for a living in the commercial space to tell me that there is an e-liquid out there that is 20% ethanol. Somebody, all you people out there that know people in the e-liquid world, please tell me, find them and have them come on and ask me, or answer that question for me. Is there an e-liquid on the market that is 20% ethanol? Because I don't think so. Like I said, if I DIY my DIY recipes, the maximum flavor percentage would be about 20%. But 20% ethanol, that's crazy. So I need to know, because this sounds like something that somebody wrote to scare people. That they're saying that within a minute or after a minute that you could blow a false positive. After 15 minutes, it's gone. But I think the scary thing, the thing that's in this that would scare people, is the fact that there's an e-liquid on the market that's 20% ethanol. So, yeah, any of you that works for a big e-liquid company, respond in the comments or in the after the show in the show comments and tell me whether or not you know of a company that has, But no, I am well aware that some of the flavors do actually contain a thinner, alcohol as a thinner, but not 20% of the total volume of an e-liquid. No way. You would absolutely have to just get like Everclear and do a 20% Everclear, and that shit might be flammable. I don't want to waste any of my shit to just make a 20% Everclear e-liquid just to drop a match in it and see if it would light on fire. But that's crazy. Let's see. Did y'all see this gorgeous artwork? Did y'all see this yet? Yeah, just saying. She's gonna be so mad at me. Let's see. This is a new piece from the American Council on Science and Health with our very good friend Cameron English, who was on the show. It says, vaping promotes smoking cessation. This is more data from the UK. Let's see. A recent survey conducted at schools in England has yielded additional evidence that vaping is an effective smoking cessation tool. The UK's National Health Service has published the results of its survey, Smoking, Drinking, and Drug Use Among Young People in England. The media amplified the reports, finding that teen vaping increased slightly from 6 to 9% between 2018 and 2021. Headlines and commentary were everything you'd expect from the public health officials and journalists. Doctors say children are being targeted by e-cigarette companies with bright packaging, exotic flavors, and enticing names. One official from the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health told the news outlet he was deeply disturbed by the rise in teen vaping. I, too, am troubled by underage nicotine use, but a closer look at the results reveals some very good news. Teen smoking continues to decline in England, and vaping has been an important part of this public health victory. This is an outcome worth celebrating wherever you are in the world because it adds to the existing evidence supporting that e-cigarettes are e-cigarettes as a smoking cessation tool. Vaping promotes smoking cessation. The survey is conducted every 2 years among teenagers between 11 and 15. This particular report included responses from 9,289 participants across 119 schools. Two survey results deserve special attention. First, most teenagers who took up vaping were smokers. 56% of ex-smokers were current e-cigarette users, the report noted. Moreover, regular smokers who were regular e-cigarette users has more than doubled from 29 in 2018 to 61 in 2021. This means that vaping, which is widely recognized as less harmful than smoking, has helped many young people replace some or all of the cigarettes consumed. Put another way, the increase in vaping largely mirrored a decrease in smoking. Nobody wants teens using nicotine-containing products, but if you're going to violate public health rules, and as adolescents are wont to do, yes, we have video from the FDA verifying, admitting that they know that kids experiment, and there's not anything that they can do about it. But if you're going to violate public health rules, as adolescents are wont to do, vaping is the less harmful way to rebel. Keep in mind that just 3% of students in the survey were classified as current smokers, meaning that both vaping and smoking in England are quite low. Non-smokers don't vape. Next up, and equally important, is that few non-smoking teens are interested in vaping. Only 1% of people who had never smoked were regular e-cigarette users, the survey found. Additionally, most regular smokers, 92%, reported having ever used e-cigarettes. This compares to just 13% of people who had never smoked. These stats should be viewed in light of another figure. 88% of survey respondents were aware of e-cigarettes. Most teens knew about what vaping is, but wouldn't or didn't try it. Studies conducted in the U.S. have produced similar results. The CDC reported in October that 3% of U.S. high school students vape nicotine daily, and most of them smoked before trying e-cigarettes. Smoking history or lack thereof tends to predict an individual's interest in e-cigarettes. As the NHS authors put it, pupils who had never smoked were much more likely to also have ever used an e-cigarette than most who had never smoked. Pupils that had ever smoked. Okay, so the experimenters that experimented with smoking and the experimenters that had experimented with e-cigarettes. But people that don't smoke don't vape, or fewer of them at least. While the report did indeed find an increase in current vaping, lifetime vaping didn't rise during the survey period. That figure actually decreased slightly. The rise in current use was not seen for lifetime use. 22% of pupils reported that they had ever used, that's one-time use is ever used, or sparing use is ever used, compared to 25%, and that is not a significant change. So what they're basically saying is that sure, the headlines are fear-mongery, but the fact of the matter is that most people, or most of these kids that are vaping regularly were regular smokers. So, I not to promote underage use, but yeah, you have to say that, okay, well, at least they're doing something that's not as bad. It's the same excuse that we would use. Hey, it's not as bad. So yeah, let's see. Anyway, let's take a moment. So there's a new person, Waftum. Waftum is in the chat room. Hello, Waftum. I saw Leanna sneak in. Leanna snuck in. Hello, Leanna. All right. So we're going to try an experiment since Kevin's not here. I'm going to put the invitation to come in here and say hello. The rule is that you're here for a few minutes, and then you go. I'm not looking for a co-host, but if somebody wants to come in and say something, you're free to do so one at a time. You can jump into the backstage area. I do ask that if you're coming in to say hello, that you mute your broadcast or wear headphones so I don't get that crazy echo, or I will immediately give you the boot. How about that? So this is a one-time chance. We only do this once or twice a year, and we haven't done it this year. We did it last year and had some fun with it. So yeah, there is the StreamYard link. It is in the chats. So yeah, if you want to come in and say hello, come in and say hello. Because Kevin's not here and it gets lonely up here, we run out of shit to talk about, and it's more entertaining to have somebody to shoot the breeze with. I was watching Reacher on Amazon before I came in here, and I could go back and finish watching Reacher if there's not really anything to do tonight. But anyway, let's see. There's an op-ed here that Kevin shared. Let's see. It says, op-ed, misinformation is deadly for people trying to quit smoking. And gosh darn it, we know the person that wrote it. It is the lovely and talented Skip Murray. Skip Murray wrote this piece. So obviously we're going to read it. Y'all didn't know that was Skip in that picture, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, this is from the Taxpayers Protection Alliance Consumer Center. Op-ed, misinformation is deadly for people trying to quit smoking. Y'all should really tag, share, go to the Twitters, and because we're on Twitters right now, we're broadcasting live on Twitters, to the lovely Skip, and let her know that we're talking about her. So anyway, the Oncology Nurse Society, ONS, which represents 100,000 nurses, has an admirable goal of improving the quality of life and outcomes for patients with cancer. The relationship between smoking cigarettes and cancer is an essential focus for them. A leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States is lung cancer, with about 80% of those cases attributed to smoking. Unfortunately, ONS seems to not understand the role of tobacco harm reduction products, harm reduction products can play in helping adults quit smoking and reduce their cancer risks. Information about nicotine is a priority when healthcare providers interact with people who smoke. In a recent survey of physicians, 80% incorrectly believe that nicotine causes cancer, cardiovascular disease, and COPD. Another survey found that 60% of nurses falsely believe that nicotine causes cancer. Misinformation could lead to inaccurate recommendations and failure to capitalize on teachable moments when talking to patients. Oh, anyway, y'all are talking about stuff and it's drawing my attention away from here. Anyway, it's not easy to quit smoking. The number who successfully stop is outweighed by the staggering numbers of those unable to achieve this goal. It is common to make several quit attempts in a lifetime, with the majority continuing to smoke. Even those who do smoke or who do quit smoking are at risk of returning to smoking. Yes, once an addict, always an addict. In the past several years, novel nicotine, aka tobacco harm reduction products, have entered the market, helping millions of people quit smoking. The most popular of these are e-cigarettes. Vaping allows people who smoke to replace the nicotine they crave and enables them to continue to experience other aspects they enjoy about smoking in a less harmful way, including sensory feedback such as inhaling and exhaling. Recently, ONS reviewed its position statement on vaping. They rightly point out that vaping is not regulated by the FDA as a smoking cessation product, but rather as a tobacco product. Consumers use many methods to quit smoking, and many are not medicalized or FDA approved for cessation. So, yeah, I mean, I know somebody that quit smoking by putting a rubber band around their wrist, and every time they felt like smoking a cigarette, they would pull that rubber band and smack themselves with it on the wrist and leave a big red mark to negatively reinforce that that urge, that craving. I don't know that that's FDA approved. Anyway, however, the ONS statement contains misinformation alluding to vaping as a potentially toxic as secondhand smoke and nicotine vapor products causing vaping lung injuries, commonly referred to as E-Valley. It also expresses concern about what people could potentially be exposed to. At first glance, the issues feel valid, but a deep dive into these concerns leaves the reader void of the big picture. What is missing is putting those concerns in perspective with the risk of vaping versus the risk of smoking. So, oh, look, we already got another sucker in here. Hello, Mike.
Sucker. Bullshit, buddy.
Bull, you don't cuss.
How the hell you doing?
You don't cuss. You're not an aggressive person. You're very mild, except for by X delivery.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about X delivery. No.
Come on, let's talk about X delivery for 5 seconds. So what the hell's been going on?
I can't say a whole hell of a lot of anything's been going on. Just work.
Well, you've got an Amish star behind you. Have you been quilting?
Oh, no. It's just something to block out some road noise behind me. Because I took everything down, moved my desk, but it's just noise reduction.
But
how about you?
You're alive. You're alive and well, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're getting around okay? Are you still using the walker, or are you walking?
I'll be polite. I don't know why.
Do you have a gate belt on right now?
I'm sorry?
I said, do you have a gate belt wrapped around your waist right now for safety?
I got a belt and I've got a catheter and I've got a toilet under my chair, damn it.
Hey, whatever makes you comfortable, man.
No.
I'm going to get one of those recliners that are a toilet. Then I don't have to ever get up off the couch to watch football.
Not a good reason to stay on the recliner. Football is not it.
What?
Nope. We won't even get into that. That's like bad news from the word go. I don't know whether to use the shotgun mic or to use the other mic.
Well, it's up to you. You sound fine.
I'm sorry?
I said it's up to you. You sound fine.
Oh, I love this shotgun mic. It does a nice job.
Well, no, it's just that phallic. It's that really long phallic thing towards your face that you're really happy about.
Let's see. Oh, this poor thing.
Hey, Addie Tooney just came in to say hello. Addie, Kevin's internet is down. Apparently, the entire state of Ohio is having problems with their internet, according to Kevin.
Well, Kevin has a problem.
Because I know you're in Ohio too, right?
Yeah. I'm about 4 hours away from him, but I don't have any issues going on.
Ohio is 4 hours wide? Really?
I'm in Northeast Ohio, up by Cleveland, so and he's down by Columbus.
So it's like a diagonal line. Yeah.
He's about 3.5 hours south. west.
Wow. Y'all should try Texas, where it's like 18 hours from one corner to the other.
I've had to work down in Texas a couple of times, and driving from one place to the other is like, oh my God.
OMG. No,
Yeah.
I've been seeing this is another topic. Hey, it's a good thing that you're here because you're the kindler, gentler voice of our circle.
Only on air.
Well, but that's true. But so I've been seeing a lot of ugly, nasty people. Like, there's always been ugly, nasty people on the internet, but this is like vast numbers of just poisonous people. So, the Queen of England passed away yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And
funny fact, do you know the Commonwealth, right?
yes,
There's a little over 7 billion people in the world.
yes,
The Commonwealth, all totaled, is 2.4 billion people. She ruled over almost 1/3 of the populace
yes.
of the
Well,
planet.
not
No.
ruled,
It's
but
the
yes.
Commonwealth.
I mean, you got to throw in, at Canada, India, Australia, all the people that have her on their money.
Yep.
I mean,
But it
if you
comes up
think
to
about it, though,
2.4 billion people. I was like, oh my God.
but if you think about it, though, she was Queen of England for one third, about 33% of the entire lifetime of the American country.
Here's another fact that blew my mind. And I know history, but I did not know this. Winston Churchill was her first prime minister.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, shit, really?
I mean, not to be ugly. I mean, because we're Americans and we kicked the British royalty out of our country, whatever, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
She was a very lovely person. I mean, I don't think that the royal family. I have no interest in tracking the royal family. I have friends that are like, all about what's the kid's name that's married to the actress?
Harry.
Yeah.
Prince
So
Harry.
yeah, they're all up in that. I really don't give a shit about any of that. But a person died that didn't do shit to you in general. I've just been seeing some really nasty fucking shit about this poor dead lady.
Yep.
I mean, she lived 98 years. She had a full life, a good life. I have a friend that is a historian in England, and she actually worked under the Queen and had met her many times. She also is a comic book writer, and she just recently wrote a comic book about Charlie Chaplin, sort of an autobiographical comic book about Charlie Chaplin. But anyway, she was saying that during World War II, that Queen Elizabeth actually drove an ambulance in England, in London. Like, it was all hands on deck during the Blitz,
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't afraid to get her fucking hands dirty. So
she was out there mixing it up with everybody else.
And I only bring this up just to point out one type of poisonousness that is circulating on the internet. There's all sorts of other nonsensical poison that's floating around as well. But that one is just the most recent example of people just being ugly just for the sake of being ugly. And it's just like, wow. So people were saying good riddance, you bitch or whatever, tyrannical whore and all sorts of, and I'm just like, whoa.
Somebody showed a picture, and it was her with the crown and the scepter and all this other stuff. And it says items stolen from, and it points to everything that she's wearing or that she has. And it says stolen from this country. This is stolen from this country. I'm like, okay, I don't know how true any of that is, but it's the virtual that is people are just, like you said, they're spitting hate.
Yeah.
For what reason? You know?
Wow, I gotta scroll through my Twitter feed. I want to show you another one. This one pissed me off. Like, and this was just like, dude, you're being a dick just for no apparent, no reason whatsoever. So, I mean, you all know that I'm kind of a comic book nerd, right? You know that.
No, say it ain't so.
Yeah. So there's this guy who is a cover artist for Marvel. And that's all he does. Like once a month, he draws a cover for a comic book. Like, but anyway, he tweeted, and this is a picture that's been circulating on the internet for a while now. But this is not this dude. This is one of my internet friends. But this picture of a high school football player and the cheerleader kissing after a football game, right?
Okay.
So this douchebag, this guy's name is Mark Brooks. He says, I went to high school with people like this. One was married by the time they were 23, drives a minivan and thinks Chili's is fancy. And the other is overly invested in his kid's high school football team. His favorite color is khaki and has big plans for the weekend. So, this guy is shitting on the joy of two high school sweethearts. Like he's just basically saying your happiness is worthless, you kiddos, and I'm better than you. I mean, that's what it sounds like, Yeah. So, he blocked me, obviously. This is me. I went on, I replied to his Twitter. So, I said, how much of a piece of shit do you have to be to demean someone for starting a family and driving a minivan or dunking on a dad who loves his kid enough to be excited for them if they play sports? How broken inside do you have to be to hate people for living their own lives? So this is a screenshot of my response to him. So he says, so I say, so you're bitter that some are content with their minivan, happy with the person they married at 23, and they love their kids enough to be excited if they enjoy playing high school football. Did you get a lot of swirlies or wedgies in school from the jocks, laughed at by the cheerleaders? So this jerk says, I know humor is hard for you guys, but it's a joke. And I said, except no one read what you tweeted as a joke. It appears that most folks saw how bitter and little you are. Maybe you need to talk it out, champ, and get over those feelings. So immediately after that, he blocked me.
I wonder why.
I mean, I just, that picture, that particular, I mean, this is a guy, if you think about it, you know who Norman Rockwell is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Down
the street, we have an art museum.
Yeah.
That currently has all of Norman Rockwell's paintings of the Boy Scouts on display.
So Norman Rockwell was an artist who did illustrations and cover art for the Saturday Evening Post. Or is it the Sunday Evening Post? Anyway, for a national magazine. He's world famous for his wholesome Americana pictures celebrating normal life.
Yep.
This picture of this football player, I mean, this is, this is standard Americana. This is standard wholesome, obviously if he was feeling her up, it wouldn't be wholesome, but this should be something.
This is something that used to be commonplace. You go back to the 50s, the 60s.
Yeah.
And,
this guy just decided to shit all over this and say, I must not have been happy in high school. So I'm seeing these two kids that are happy with each other. Apparently they look like they're enjoying themselves a little bit in that picture. And that your happiness is limited and short because you're going to have a shitty life and you're going to have to drive a minivan. And For you, Chili's is going to be a fancy restaurant. And here I am, a famous artist working for a big comic book company, and I'm better than you. I mean, that's what the tone of that is. And, you know, I'm nothing but poor white trash from West Virginia. So I think Chili's is a very nice restaurant.
I've never had a problem with Chili's.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would say is upscale, you know, but
No,
anyway,
it's not. But it's just the fact that this guy thinks that those people that think that Chili's is a fancy or a nice place to go out, a family type restaurant, that if you think that that's you know, good, that you're stupid, you know, and I'm better than you.
well, he belongs
So
in the lower.
I now have the feather in my cap that I got blocked by Simon Chapman, who the health minister in Australia, and now this washed up comic book artist that only does covers because he can't work fast enough and can only paint one picture a month.
So hold on. Does that mean you're building a portfolio of people on Twitter that are blocking you?
Oh yes, no, I have. There are many.
Okay.
No. But I only count the famous ones. Or the famous in small circles ones. Now there is a writer in Australia who wrote a piece attacking Senator Holly Hughes that we had on the show. Yeah. And the very next day he wrote an article about how Holly Hughes was on an American podcast called Son of Liberty Radio. So they were taking quotes from our show. And Kevin and I obviously read that article on the show and spell checked it for them. We edited all of their bad grammar and typos. And then that guy blocked me too. He apparently wrote a book about Rupert Murdoch as well. So I feel pretty in pretty high circles because he wrote an article that included me, and he wrote a book about Rupert Murdoch as well.
So you are highfalutin.
Well, at least I'm in the right circles.
Right.
I like to be mentioned by the same people that mention billionaires.
Most of those people can kiss my ass. I don't care what they think.
I don't even want their mouths anywhere near my body, Kevin or Mike.
Nope.
So anyway, we were reading an article about misinformation, and I just saw that you came in. And I was like, "Oh, Mike has been incommunicado for so long. I had to stop for a minute."
I actually took a break from work when you said we're going to post the link. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm going to take that link. I'm going to click on that.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's go back to this misinformation stuff. Since you're here, you can be my Ed McMahon for a minute. However, the ONS statement contains misinformation alluding to vaping as potentially toxic as secondhand smoke and nicotine vaping products causing lung injuries, commonly referred to as E-Valley. It also expresses concern about what people could potentially be exposed to. Potentially, maybe, might, could, possibly. At first glance, the issues feel valid, but a deep dive into those concerns leaves the reader void of the big picture. What is missing is putting those concerns in perspective with the risk of vaping versus the risk of smoking. After their August 22 review, the ONS statement remains outdated. Suggestions for a minimum sale age of 21 are already on the books. Nurses are being encouraged to continue to inform consumers about FDA-approved tobacco cessation alternatives while exaggerating the potential harm of e-cigarettes. ONS is ignoring the needs of people who smoke and have been unsuccessful at quitting smoking with traditional cessation methods. ONS also rejects the evidence showing that people who vape have higher success rate at smoking cessation than FDA-approved nicotine replacement therapies.
All right, hold on.
Yes.
This was written by Skip, right?
Yes. Yes.
Scroll up just a little bit. I don't have this on my screen, so I can't read it where you left off.
Well, this is where I left off right here. That's the last word I said.
Okay, scroll up a little bit because I've got
Okay.
our two screens are covering the article. I can't read the article.
Oh, well, here, let's do it this way. Let me just change the layout to this.
Okay. So you just read after the August.
I read I read this whole paragraph right here.
Okay. Scroll up a little bit.
Up.
Oh, no, down the other way. So
You
that
said
I can
up.
There. Oh, it's the same fucking thing, just the other direction. All right, so scroll down. So you got to read a paragraph. I'm going to read a paragraph.
Okay, you sound so much better than me anyway.
There we go. Oh my God. I got to blow my screen up. I don't have my red glasses on.
You want me to rub it for you? Let me make it a little bit bigger.
There, I got it. That's good. It says ONS suggests the FDA considers vaping liquids as hazardous to health. Yet, FDA has authorized the sale of several vaping products, finding them appropriate for the protection of public health. ONS's false statement exacerbates consumer misconception that vaping is equally harmful or more harmful than smoking and ignores FDA authorizations. About 60% of smoking consumers falsely believe that nicotine causes cancer. Numerous studies demonstrate vaping is safer than smoking, but none of these studies are referenced in a statement. Furthermore, they offer no recommendation to try tobacco harm reduction products to those who have been unable to quit smoking.
Síguele, keep going.
Oh, in 2021, 15 past presidents of the Society for Research on Nicotine and Tobacco published a paper on vaping, which examined the risks and benefits of vaping, found no cancer risk from e-cigarette use, addressed the correct source of E-Valley, and drew attention to the role vaping can play in smoking cessation. Cessation. Jesus, why do I have a problem with that?
I said
However,
cessation a while ago too.
I know, it's just, oof. However, the paper ends with the dire reminder that 480,000 Americans
I
died.
said cessation a while ago too.
I know, it's just, oof. However, that's not me.
No, that was me for a second. I was just making sure that Addie had a wrench.
It ends with the dire reminder that 480,000 Americans die from smoking annually. Certainly, an organization like the ONS, which focuses on cancer's devastating effects, would want to see people who smoke take advantage of every opportunity to quit smoking. United Kingdom Research, considered the world's leading cancer research organization, has published its own position statement on e-cigarettes, finding they are far less harmful than smoking, and that for people who smoke, e-cigarettes are an option to help them stop. American cancer organizations ought to be recognizing the benefits as well if they truly want to eradicate lung cancer.
And this was written by Kim Murray. And Kim, or Skip, is a research fellow for the Taxpayers Protection Alliance's Consumer Center.
Awesome. Awesome job.
Yes, we love Skip. Even though she's threatened to smack us around and beat us up and stuff. She's mean to us, Kevin, or Mike. See, I'm so used to just saying Kevin at the end of every sentence.
I know. That's why I said when I saw your link come up, I'm like, oh, I got to take a break from work. I got to go say hi.
Yeah. So what is Two Stone still a thing, or is it completely defunct?
Two Stone went defunct months and months ago. When everybody was saying, and when the FDA was saying, hey, yeah, you got to submit your paperwork. I'm like, how much thousands of dollars would it take just to submit and get the research? And I said, there's no way. Just impossible.
No. So it looks like, and we're not going to cover this, but if you add Georgia, well, there's 34 states that are in this settlement agreement with Juul. and it's 438.5 million. And then there's a separate one for Texas. And Texas got 43 million. So I don't know if that's part of the total or if that's a separate case.
How many Juul products were sold?
Billions. I mean,
so this $480 some million settlement is a drop in the bucket for what the money they made.
Oh yeah,
it's shit. It is absolute shit. You want to hit them where they all right, then charge them per unit sold. Then, and only then, will you be talking about something very real. Until then, they're going to go, oh my God, yeah, no, we spent more on advertising than we did for that settlement. Cost of doing business.
It's silly. It really is. I wanted to, I don't know if I can find it. So, last Saturday, after the show, I had received, or during the show, I had received a private message from Jeffrey, who's in the chat room right now, Zamora, that Charlie and Inco were doing an event, and it was sort of a stress relieving event. It was, go in and sign up for this event, and you could hang out with us international people, or with them. I was an invited, I showed up, but it was Charles and Jeffrey and me and 5 or 6 other people, just hanging out in a I don't know if it wasn't a Google Hangout, but it was one of those meeting thingies, and it was just fun. It was just us shooting the breeze. It was Judy was there. I got to actually speak to Judy G
Cool.
from England, the inspiration for our hashtag clusterfuck vape bans. So, when they have these things, because it was on Twitter, it was on their Facebook page. Y'all should definitely
take advantage of it.
Take advantage and come hang out. I mean, obviously, you put half a dozen or a dozen vaping advocates in there, even though the intention was to, tell jokes and have a good time. Obviously, we talked about vaping advocacy stuff as well, but it was still fun. So, and I got to talk to guys from Norway, and no, it wasn't Bard. Bard's in Norway, but Jeffrey, who we've spoken to, and there was a German gentleman in there. There was a French gentleman in there. Judy was there from England. So it was fun. Y'all should, nice. When you see those links, you should jump in there. You get to meet some amazing people and talk about stuff. And there was a moment there where I was just like, I keep talking about America like America is the only thing that matters. I did notice that I said something. I can't remember. Oh, we were talking about numbers. We were talking about numbers and the percentage of people that vape that are actually active. And I was saying, well, here it's like 1% of 1%. It's a very small percentage. And they were like, well, in our countries, it's not that. It's not, there's way more, engagement. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I'm jealous now, actually, but okay.
It's the thing with America. Most of what we are doing as a populace is apathetic. Unless it infringes directly on something, and I'll use myself. If it directly impacts me or infringes what I'm doing, then I get all riled.
Well, of course, you get super excited and fired up about shit that pisses you off. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else will take care of it. Somebody else will go to the rally. Oh, I'm not going. Other people will be there. They don't care.
Well, yeah, I get that.
You take a look when they had rallies or demonstrations in Spain or in Greece or in France, and the streets are packed with people. It's nothing but a sea of people. And then you look at some bullshit rally that happens in DC or whatever, not the vape rally. Don't anybody take that the wrong way. That was a good rally for a good cause. I'm talking
The first one was
Yep.
energized and stuff. And yeah, the second one was smaller, but it was in the middle of a fucking pandemic.
Yep. But you go to anything else, and the turnout is lackluster at best.
Well, yeah. Except if it's a Trump thing, then all of a sudden there's all sorts of crazy people.
It draws people out.
Yeah. So yeah, Jeffrey said, he said we had a great time last Saturday. I think the next one will be at the end of the month, and the previous one that they did was about talking about their musical preferences. So just whatever it is that you can talk about to just blow off some steam. So yeah, definitely
musical preferences. Just to relate to that for a minute, talk about Oingo Boingo and a song called Insanity.
No, my favorite one from them is obviously Dead Man's Party, but they have another one. We Close Our Eyes. Yeah, Oingo Boingo is a good band. Danny Elfman, man.
Got some odd ones. Oh, they had a benefit concert in London for Taylor Hawkins, who was the drummer for the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have mixed emotions about that whole thing. But
his kid came out there and kicked ass on the drums.
His son,
was
holy shit.
Yeah,
I was floored. But there was one better to me, was to see Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee get back on stage and be together again and playing Rush, and they played YYZ.
Well, I mean, I've seen, not to totally talk about other things other than vaping, but it's my fucking show. We'll talk about whatever we want. I had seen interviews with both of them saying that they would perform together, but they would never again perform under the name Rush.
No, because they've always said Rush was three people.
Yeah, they might find another drummer and they go around and play those songs or even record new music, but it just won't be under the name Rush.
It's not the same.
Yes.
You can't replace,
the greatest drummer that's ever played drums. No, you're not going to replace him.
That's a subjective list.
As a drummer, I will tell you, he was the best technical drummer in rock music.
I think he was the greatest drummer, but I don't want to shove that in people's faces. If all they listen to is the blues, then there are a couple men that drum the blues that you can't beat them. It's for genre.
If we're going to talk, Buddy Rich, or there are some other amazing drummers in other types of music, but I did say in rock music.
Yeah, for the genre.
Yes, and
Neil Peart was just an animal. And that's why they called him the Professor.
Yeah,
he just could not.
Charles kept calling me Kevin in the thing last Saturday, just to get my goat. Then the next day he asked me for a favor, and he goes, "I was just joking, right?"
No, he takes everything seriously. Don't pay him any mind. He wears a Magna hat, but it's up high enough so you can't see it say "Make America Great Again."
No, my hat says "Goat." Greatest of all time. That's why I called the show "Hail to the King."
Oh,
nah, it's actually because of, I feel kind of bad because Charles is the King of England now.
I sent you, and it was from the BBC, and it was a headline, and it says Charles spends first full day on throne. And I'm thinking, here in America, people are not thinking a royal throne. They're thinking something that flushes, And if the poor guy's spending all day on the throne, My God, he's got enough people.
on the new.
Somebody should be introducing like Benefiber or X-Lax. Get that man up and off the toilet, for God's sake.
He might be impacted.
Yeah, I'm having an impacted day. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
So,
all right. I got to run back for work.
Go back to work then. Be that way. Fine.
I know.
Fine.
But I wanted to stop and say, hey.
I did cover all of the articles that Kevin shared with me, though.
Uh-oh.
So technically, it's been an hour. I do have an appointment at 8:30 in the morning. So
yeah, see how you are.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you go, and if nobody jumps into the offered, the link. Well, the link is already gone. It's way up at the top of the chat now.
Yep.
But yeah, if nobody jumps in right away, I'm just gonna go to bed.
There you go. All right, folks.
But thanks.
Good to see everybody. Yep. I wanted to stop and say hey. I'll say thank you to Kevin for being absent for the evening. It was nice just to jump on. Maybe next time around, we pop on and say hi to both of you.
Or could be, possibly.
Next time? Oh, yeah.
Yep, next time.
Absolutely.
Be good.
All right. I'll see you later.
Yep. So, Jeffrey, I will do one better for you on Igor. Igor. I saw Sepultura for the Osmosis tour, the Ozzy Osbourne Osmosis tour, and it was Typo Negative. Well, actually, it was Sepultura, then Typo Negative, then Ozzy, and they're during the Sepultura set. And I will say I'm a huge Sepultura fan. Old Sepultura with Max singing and not the new guy. But there was a drum solo or drum break in the middle of the show. And they have a song called Kiowas, which is just an acoustic guitar. They played the guitar part, and then the drummer starts, his drum solo, and the entire band leaves the stage, and the drummer is just doing his drum solo. And then there's a moment of quiet, and then all of a sudden, each member of the band comes out, and they have drums. They're playing tribal drums, and they're doing this really awesome tribal beat. And for about, I would say, 6 to 10 minutes, they're doing this, this whole drum thing. Then as they're playing, each member one at a time leaves while the other one's playing and goes and gets their instrument. And then they cut back in playing. And then they played Ramahatata at the end of that. That was as far as I'm concerned, that 10 to 15 minute segment of that concert was the best moment of the entire show. So yes, I know exactly who you're talking about when you say Igor Cavalera or Calavera. Cavalera, yes. Skull. So yeah. But Jeffrey, if you want to come on, I will again insert the link. I will insert the link so that you can personally come in and tell me that you hate me for seeing that show. I don't know. I can sit here and talk about concerts that I've been to with amazing performances. That's easy. I've seen literally several thousand shows over the years. My very first concert was in 1979. It was Kiss. And there's a moment during that show when they start to play God of Thunder, and Gene is on like an elevator, and he goes up, and he's literally like 50 feet above the stage, standing on this pedestal, singing God of Thunder. I was 7 years old. That was one of the, that memory will never, if I get dementia, if I get Alzheimer's in my old age, I will still remember that. That was awesome. But anyway, so What the hell? I mean, you guys. I saw somebody was talking about DIY. I do a DIY show in the in the uh, in the chats a while ago, but that was that new guy that I don't even remember his name now. It's how awful a human being I am. I haven't seen him talk in the chat for a minute, but yeah, great shows that I've been to. Yeah, see, Jeffrey's already chickening out because he knows he says, I hate you. And he called me Kevin. I know he's not saying, that he hates Kevin. And Michael Redfern says, fuck you, Patrick. Sorry, I'm jealous. I never got to see Typo Negative or Sepultura. Soulflight, which is the other Max Cavalera band, they just released a new record recently. So you should get that. You should get that for sure. But yes, Typo Negative was a good show. He sang just as good live as he did on the record. His tone was awesome. There's a couple singers out there, especially in metal, that don't really do very good live. But yeah, his tone was amazing even live. And yes, Soulfly is a great band. I mean, they took over the tribal sound that Sepultura started, and Max just took it on to the next. And then Max has been in a couple other side projects. He was in a band with several members from Mastodon. I have that record somewhere too. He's been in a bunch. He's got a bunch of projects out there, but he's prolific. He's prolific. So Tom says he's only ever been to 2 concerts, Vienna and Tina in Christchurch. I don't know what Vienna and Tina is unless that's 2 different artists. And depending on which Tina you're talking about, Tina Turner she put on a great show too. I always had a crush on her. She had great gams. And I heard that she passed away recently, and that made me sad. I didn't know that she had passed away. Yes. I'm just double checking because I saw somebody recently say that she had passed away. I'm just double checking here. No, I'm wrong. She is still alive. Thank God. Because I had just seen somebody post recently that she had passed away like a week ago or something. It's one of those things every once in a while you'll see somebody die and then they're like, oh, no, she's not dead. What band do you regret not seeing live? That's a good topic. Everybody can let's see, which band did I not get to see? Well, I didn't get to see Oasis, and I don't think I'll ever get to see them, but I don't think I would have ever went to see them. Well, Jeffrey put that his favorite band that he won't get to ever see is Pantera. Now, you may not be aware of this, but Pantera is actually going to go on tour. Zakk Wylde will be taking over the guitar parts, and Charlie Benante from Anthrax will be taking over the drums. So, but guitar and drum wise, those would be the 2 people that I would say would be sufficient substitutes. So yeah, Charlie is as good a drummer as Vinnie Paul was, and Zakk is just as good as Dime, I think, in my opinion. Let's see, Zeppelin. I never got to see Zeppelin, but I have seen every member of Zeppelin either solo or in another act. I saw The Firm, and I've seen Robert Plant multiple times with multiple side projects, and John Paul Jones I saw with Those Crooked Vultures with Dave Grohl and Josh Homme. So yeah, I've never seen them all. And Yeah, I'd have to think who have I not gotten to see that I would. Well, I mean, Jimmy. I would have loved to see Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles. That's never going to happen now. But I don't, there's enough footage of almost every band. If I haven't seen them in real life, I am able to at least see them live, in, recordings or whatever. And sometimes it's better to be able to watch them with a good surround sound and on a big screen. I saw the Big Four, the Sophia concerts that they did, the Big Four concerts at the movie theater, and sitting in the comfort of a movie theater chair watching Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, and Metallica play in Bulgaria without actually having to go to Bulgaria was pretty good. Yeah. I've seen Alice in Chains like 8 times. So with Lane. I haven't seen them with the new guy. So yeah. I still haven't. I saw Jefferson Starship. I didn't see Jefferson Airplane. I've seen The Who like 8 times. Now, which band? Here's a good question. Which band have you seen the most live? Because I've seen the Stones about 18 times. I actually adore the Stones. That's my weakness. I will fly across the country. If the Stones are playing one show in the States, I will fly there to see them. And there's nobody else that I would do that for. Even now, when they're like 100 years old. Last time I saw them, they were still great, even at their senior citizen age. They're full-time members of the AARP. I've seen, now here's the thing. Jeffrey put the most he's seen Metallica the most. I've seen Metallica about 8 times. The very first time I saw them was probably the best version of them that I've seen out of the 8 times I saw them. I saw them for the And Justice for All tour, and it was Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols. He had just released a solo like hair metal band, and it was awful. Then the Cult and Metallica, and it was the Cult on the Sonic Temple album and Metallica the And Justice for All record. And I've seen them almost, well, at least once for every record that they've released since then. And none of them were as good as the first time I saw them. And it could just be that was their last really good record. Just saying. But anyway, I've seen the Allman Brothers. I saw Addie put that in there. I saw Pink Floyd at a stadium tour in New Orleans. They played in the Superdome, and I was so far away from the stage that I could have reached over and touched the flying pig. Like they have a inflatable pig that was just way above. It was literally, and I'm sort of adjacent. I'm like on the very top tier, parallel at the same level as the stage, and the lighting rack was in the way. And every once in a while, I could swear David Gilmour. I could see the end of David Gilmour's guitar poke past the lighting rig, but the audio, I mean, they sounded amazing, but yeah, it was not the same. I saw Rage Against the Machine with Linkin Park. I think it may have not been Linkin Park. It might have been like Incubus or somebody. I can't remember now. Probably it was the LA record. So Bulls on Parade, that record. Yeah. So yes, I did actually need oxygen to watch that show. That was And, to go to the bathroom, you had to go down like 4 levels just to get to the pisser. So, but that show, like, I got a contact high because everything, I was so high up, I was getting everybody's secondhand. That was an amazing contact high. But anyway, yeah, it looks like Kevin's not coming. I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Nobody else wanted to take the invitation. I have to get up early in the morning, so we're just going to call it tonight. I could hang out here all night and talk about concerts, but love you guys, but I could just go to bed. So be good. I've been here for an hour and 22 minutes. We'll check you later. Let's go out with something here.
Something. Can you say it again?
Let's do this. And Alexa's over here talking to me. Let's end with Mark.
Locally, my clients are physicians, nurses, single moms, couples, multiple generations of families, seniors on fixed incomes, disabled, veterans, residents of assisted living facilities, and teachers at the local elementary, middle, and high schools. Most are dealing with serious issues other than their smoking habit, further degrading their quality of life and their ability to quit smoking. From 18 to 96 years old with an average age of over 40, nearly all referrals by other successful clients. Most have smoked for decades, the result of the 93% failure rate that they've been stuck with. They don't believe you and don't trust you with damn good reason. You will never reach these people. They know you don't care and they despise you for it. I greet them in a t-shirt, this one with Kevin Crowley on it, and blue jeans, and a nicotine molecule tattooed on my forearm.